Much. Next, we have item number 66, which is to approve Kavison Homes as a project developer and authorize staff to begin negotiating a development and disposition agreement so that, subject to further board approval, a nomination requesting the Bureau of Land Management to make a direct sale of federal land to the county of a 15-acre portion of a 20-acre parcel on Cactus east of Buffalo for sale affordable housing purposes as permitted under Section 7B of the Southern Nevada Public Lands Management Act of 1998, and authorize the county manager to provide additional information as permitted or required by Nevada guidance, policies, and procedures for affordable housing disposals, and to take such further action as is within the scope of her authority to advance this project. I believe we have a quick presentation.
Nancy.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nancy Amundsen. I'm the Director of Comprehensive Planning. Today, I am bringing you a request to direct staff to start negotiating a disposal and development agreement with Kavison Homes to look at affordable for-sale housing. For your information, affordable housing has always been something that the county has been able to do through SNPLMA Section 7B. We have been looking at the ability to do affordable for-sale housing under that same section and have been working with HUD and BLM in order to proceed. I'm going to give you a short presentation just of this project. However, the request is to direct us to start negotiating. It's going to be a little bit of a long process. The disposal and development agreement is only the first step. We have to submit an application to BLM and coordinate with HUD and get their approval and go through their process before we can even put a shovel in the ground. In August of 2021, the average home price, so that was just 2 months ago, the average home price in Southern Nevada reached $405,000, which is not affordable to many of our working residents. SNPLMA, the Nevada guidelines, as I noted, will allow for a discount. The discount is up to 95%, but the 95% is for affordability to those at 60% of AMI. Quite honestly, at 60% of AMI, a lot of folks are not going to be able to buy homes. So we're looking at the 80% or below of AMI, and that would be a 90% reduction in the cost of the home. And for your information, the the summer sale of BLM property, the land sold at 185% of fair market value. So what BLM felt was fair market value for the land for they ended up selling about 69 acres. Of that 69 acres, 185% of what they thought it was worth is what it sold for. So right now, affordability is a big problem, and the largest amount of the affordability or the cost of any housing project is the land. Affordable for-sale housing would provide home ownership opportunity for qualified residents in Southern Nevada. You have all heard this. I will say it out loud. My daughter, who is a teacher, moved out of Southern Nevada to be able to buy a house because for the salary, her salary as a single mom with 2 kids, she could not buy a house in Southern Nevada, and that is the American dream, is to buy a home. So Montana gained a special ed teacher, Southern Nevada lost one. So the location of this is on Cactus. It is just east of Buffalo. It is surrounded by single-family residential homes. The single-family residential homes are in Mountain's Edge, and we're looking to develop something that would fit into that neighborhood. Kavison has proposed a new concept. The concept would be single-family homes, but there would be a lot of amenities. It would be very amenitized. They would have play area, they would have volleyball, they would have walking paths, and if you notice to the right of this site plan, they will have access to an existing Mountain's Edge trail. The street scene, this is one of the concepts that they've come up with. We have discussed with them that they need to fit into the Mountain's Edge, so whether the homes are going to look like this or something more in line with what's around, I that will be determined again. What we're starting with is the disposal and development agreement. So we have 5 plans up to 1,600 square feet. The housing costs start at about $200,000, go up to about $230,000. And what this is showing you of the 5 plans up to 1,600 square feet, this would be at the high end, what the percentage of the housing ratio would be. And looking at this, this would be for very low down payment. And again, we feel that the proposal, they do understand Southern Nevada and they do understand the needs of the residents here. So what they're proposing is to work with their financing to talk about the home buying process. They want to be able to educate the key players, educate those that are coming in, explain to them and make them understand what a FICO score is and why it's necessary, and try to get, in the interim, those folks that would qualify, get their FICO scores up, make it so that they can afford to buy the house. They would train, or they would provide the potential buyers with the ability to gather the necessary information, make it easier for them, because as we all know, buying a house, even refinancing, they ask for everything under the sun. So since these are folks that have never bought a house or probably haven't bought a house recently, they would be helping them along the way. And again, the down payment would be minimal. We did have, one of the proposals we had was showing the concept at $15,000 to $20,000 with a down payment, and as we all know, at 80% of AMI, that type of down payment just would not work. So as I said, what I'm requesting is direction to start negotiating with Kavison Homes on affordable for sale housing on this site, and I'm open to any questions.
Okay, I'm going to start with Commissioner Jones, but I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Amundsen. I want to first off say thank you to you, Mr. Tarr, and everybody else who's been working on this for quite some time. We're obviously, on this entire commission, is committed to affordable housing, and this was definitely some out-of-the-box thinking in making sure that we have a different product. We need all the multi-story apartments we can get at this point, but it's great to have something different for the teachers and firefighters and others that at $1.2 million an acre right now for land prices aren't going to be possible. I also just wanted to put on the record, because people sometimes ask us if we would want these types of things in our neighborhood. My house is on that map just north of there, and I walk my dog on that trail you mentioned. So yeah, I want it in my neighborhood. I did have a question on the parcel itself. There's a piece of the T that's on the other side of the drainage channel that doesn't have any other access to it. What is the plan for that piece?
At this time, we don't have a plan for it. And again, that's something that we're not looking to try to connect it at this point, because you'd have to build a bridge, we have a drainage channel, that sort of thing. But that's something that we can discuss with your office and with the board to see if there is a use for it that would be appropriate.
Okay. I think we're going to have to, because absent access from the piece proposed, there's no other access, so it'd be orphaned there.
And again, the trail stops right there, as you know. It stops there and then goes north of that.
It does stop, but the bridge is already planned by Mr. Cedarberg, so.
So there we go. We could maybe have some sort of amenity for the residents.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any questions? Nancy, I have a couple of questions, because ironically, my daughter and her friends were over on Saturday, and we were actually talking about the FICO score, and we were kind of giving them a lesson, and they were saying, God, they'd wish they'd learned that in high school, because nobody cared about credit, and now they're stuck. So are we going to, and I know that my office did a financial literacy, and we had over 1,500 people participate via Facebook and in person. So is that something that we could start today? Because it takes a long time to repair your credit, and I understand this project's probably going to take a year or so, that's about the time it takes for you to go from a 320 to a 600. And that's still not even to what we'd like to see, right? You got to be at 640, I think, even for affordable. So is that something with social service that we can partner, or is there, what's the plan? Who's going to do that? I don't want to wait. What I see today is that process, you have to take these classes like a month before, and it's too late for so many. But now is a good time to start getting people engaged so that they can repair it.
And I would defer to Mr. Schiller.
I know I don't mean to be adding one more thing to our plate, but I just think it's such a valuable thing that, is there any, I mean, maybe we just have a nonprofit through our ARPA money, start doing that with our social service people for sure, and then others.
Madam Chair, I would echo that. I think obviously from a credit reporting and credit building perspective, it's time frame. So, I mean, this is the first of its kind, and I think you're kind of right on in terms of how we do outreach. So I can work with Nancy on that while we're working in terms of kind of the building land piece. We can work on that part of it, which we have to anyway, tied to kind of the client base and how we're going to qualify. So we obviously don't want to wait 30 days before and then have a ribbon cutting and have nobody qualified. So we really want to do the outreach. So we'll take that task on and then report back.
I'm not asking, our agencies are strapped, but maybe there's a nonprofit that can partner with us where we can at least educate our folks on where to start. I just know in 2009 when the market crashed, people didn't know it was 30 days before, and it's like there's no way to fix your credit that fast. So.
Yeah, and I would just echo, we did site visits, Mr. Tarr, Nancy and I and others in prep for this several years ago, and that was one of the key concepts was the nonprofit coordination to that. So it's logical and it won't actually impact our staffing. We can do that through an agency.
I mean, it affects everything from your car. I mean, imagine I'm sitting at a table with 30-year-olds and they're telling me that they have a 18% interest on their car loan. I fell out, but they thought it was good. It was better than the 25% that they had 6 months ago. So I ended up lecturing them, right? So it's a real deal that people just don't know. So.
And Commissioner, by the way, Mr. Stratton, who owns Kavison Homes, is here. Thank you.
We want to say thank you.
So if you had any questions for him, but that is something that we have been talking about. So I will work with Mr. Schiller and.
Mr. Capson, you want to come down so we could properly say thank you? We think we can see you through the plexiglass over the mask and at the end, but we want to see you closer. And we really just want to say thank you because you're the first one to step up, and we appreciate that.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. In reference to what you guys are talking about currently, we have a meeting tomorrow after today with our entire team. And one of the things that we have a large itinerary to go through, but one of them is the identification of the buyers and the education of the buyers. And so even though you had hit on this might be a year away, we're starting now. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a plethora of buyers in this town. We have to get them, educate them, get them ready, and that's a big part of what we're going to start doing right now.
Okay, nope, great, and thank you for being the first. I think it's going to be a phenomenal project, and I think that a lot of people are going to have a chance that they wouldn't normally have. Thank you to you.
It's great opportunity. Thank you.
Commissioner Segerblum.
I'm wondering, legally, are we allowed to push diversity? How would that work?
I would defer to our district attorney.
I think you can do outreach to minority communities and diverse communities, but that can't be a deciding factor.
Because it violates the federal housing rules, right? That's why I say start with our social service, because we have a diverse group of folks that are on social service today.
Can we look at where they work? Like encourage union members or culinary members or strip workers or things like that?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. My
I'm sorry, I apologize. I was asking if we could encourage certain people who work in, like on the strip, people that belong to unions, people, culinary workers, are those kind of incentives permissible?
I think that as Marianne noted, we can provide outreach. We can't probably put them at the top, but we can provide outreach and let them know that this is coming and see about training and working on credit scores and that.
And just to follow up, so, I mean, it seems to me that the demand is going to be far greater than the supply. Will it be a lottery or something like that, or how would you rank people, be merit, or how would it happen?
To me, it's first come, first served. We actually, what we want to do is over the next 6 to 8 months is create quite a big list. The people that we're working with, we've identified several different groups, culinary, a lot of the unions, Clark County School District, people that we want to go after that fit in this AMI buyer profile, and get them on board, educate the organizations about what we're doing and what's available, and then start narrowing in as far as getting them pre-approved with our lender and things like that, so that when this project's ready to go, we're not starting then. We've already done a year's worth of work. So that's our goal, is to have 150, 200 people at least on a list that are pre-approved and ready to go, and that are fully educated in the process.
So Nancy, I'm sure that you'll notify us when he opens that process so we can send people your way, if that's the case.
Absolutely. And again, this is not going to be the only one. This is our start, and we are hoping to have this be successful and move on to additional and do more than one at a time.
Okay, Mr. Tar.
Yeah, Nancy just beat me to that. Commissioners, I just want to explain that this started a few years ago, talking with County Manager Kevin Schiller, Assistant County Manager, myself, and trying to, get out there, because we've been in short of affordable for many years. So we identified that the county has this opportunity. We all have collaborated, worked together, reached out to Nancy and said, hey, Nancy, do you have the capacity to pick this up? It's really exciting. So to Commissioner Segerbloom, your questions, this is our first. We don't have all the answers. I'm really excited. We have a good partner in Todd Stratton. He's been talking to us and giving us a lot of site plans. He traveled with us on one to look at it. We had 2 proposers, and I think we've got a good partner here. So the first track's going to be about 100 to 120 plus or minus. Depends on what it's going to be like when it gets in front of you as a zone change. But our goal is to be able to continue these and start filling a pipeline where the county's doing a few a year throughout the valley using the BLM land that's available to us. If it's all successful, we've got a long way to go in the other partnerships with HUD and BLM. So to your questions, that little process for 120 houses, it should be a first come, first serve, but we will work with all the groups out there that you want to send to us. To do it really successfully is to get social services involved and try and help a nonprofit do some pre-quals and do some home buyer prep, which is FICO scores. It's down payment assistance. There's a lot of programs out there, and we've talked about all those, but we want to get this project started and learn, as opposed to sit back and try and be an expert before we start it.
And I agree. Live and learn, and so we can go back and look at how this turned out, and then if they can tweak things, but going forward. But I appreciate the effort you're making and what you're looking for. So thank you so much.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Madam Chair, I'd go ahead and move approval of agenda item number 6 enthusiastically.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Jones to approve item number 66. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. And that motion passes.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes the agenda for today. You can go to your second section of public comment.
Okay, this is the second time set aside for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak on public comment, please come forward and state and spell your name for us.
Yes, please.
Okay, Tiffany's going to help you get a handheld microphone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.